What if I told you that 25 million miles from Earth, there's a planet where it rains acid, the ground glows red hot, and the atmospheric pressure would crush you like a tin can in seconds? Welcome back to Planetary Possibilities. I'm Aria, and today we're taking a journey to the most hellish world in our solar system. Venus looks beautiful from space, but don't let that fool you. This isn't just another planet. This is a 900-degree nightmare that makes Earth's worst day look like paradise. So buckle up, because we're about to discover why Venus isn't just hostile to life. It's actively trying to destroy anything that dares to visit. For thousands of years, humans have been absolutely mesmerized by Venus. Ancient civilizations called it the morning star, the evening star, this brilliant jewel hanging in our sky. The Romans named it after their goddess of love and beauty, and honestly, I get it. From Earth, Venus is gorgeous. It's the third brightest object in our sky after the sun and moon, and it has this ethereal, almost mystical glow that's captivated poets, lovers, and dreamers for millennia. But here's where it gets interesting. When astronomers first pointed telescopes at Venus in the 1600s, all they could see were those thick, creamy clouds. No surface features, no continents, just this mysterious, shrouded world. And what did we assume? Paradise, obviously. Scientists genuinely thought Venus might be a tropical wonderland hidden beneath those clouds, steamy jungles, maybe even dinosaurs. As late as the 1950s, textbooks were teaching that Venus was probably a warm, wet world teeming with life. We named our most hellish neighbor after the goddess of love. The irony? We were about to discover that Venus wasn't hiding paradise beneath those clouds. It was hiding something far, far worse. Then came the 1960s, and suddenly we had the technology to find out what Venus was really hiding. The space race wasn't just about getting to the moon. Both the Americans and Soviets were racing to be first to reach our mysterious neighbor. The Soviet Union launched the first wave with their Venera program, and let me tell you, these weren't just scientific missions. These were acts of incredible bravery, sending robotic explorers into the complete unknown. The first few attempts? Total disasters. Venera 1 lost contact. Venera 2 went silent. Venera 3 crashed. But then in 1967, Venera 4 finally made it through those mysterious clouds and started transmitting data back to Earth. And that's when everything changed. The readings coming back weren't just surprising. They were absolutely terrifying. Surface temperature? 900 degrees Fahrenheit. Hot enough to melt lead. Atmospheric pressure? 90 times Earth's atmosphere. Imagine being crushed under 3,000 feet of ocean water. And those beautiful clouds we've been admiring for centuries? Pure sulfuric acid. Within hours, Venus had crushed and melted our most advanced technology like it was nothing. The tropical paradise we'd dreamed about for centuries was actually the most hostile place in the solar system. We thought we were visiting our twin sister. Instead, we'd knocked on the door of hell itself, and hell had answered back with crushing pressure, melting heat and acid rain that never even reaches the ground because it's too hot. Everything we thought we knew about our closest neighbor was wrong. Dead wrong. Here's what makes Venus so terrifying. It shouldn't be hell. Venus is almost Earth's twin. 95% of our diameter, 80% of our mass, same rocky composition, born from the same cosmic dust. 4.5 billion years ago, Earth and Venus were nearly identical. But somewhere along the way, one twin thrived, and the other became a monster. The culprit? A runaway greenhouse effect that makes our worst climate fears look like a gentle summer breeze. Venus's atmosphere is 96% carbon dioxide, a suffocating blanket that traps heat so efficiently nothing can escape. Here's how wild it gets. Venus actually receives less sunlight than Earth because of those thick clouds. But once heat gets in, it just keeps building, turning the whole planet into a furnace. It's like wrapping a planet in the ultimate thermal blanket and leaving it on forever. And those clouds, they're not water vapor, they're concentrated sulfuric acid, the same stuff that can dissolve metal. It rains acid on Venus, but the drops never hit the ground. They evaporate from the sheer heat before they can fall. But here's where human ingenuity shines. The Soviets knew they were sending their probes into hell, so they built them like tanks. Thick pressure hulls, cooling systems, everything. Venera 13 holds the record, 127 minutes on Venus's surface before it was finally overwhelmed. In those precious 2 hours, it sent back the only photos we have of hell's landscape. Broken volcanic rocks under a dim orange sky. Atmospheric pressure that would crush you instantly. We even have audio from Venus, actual sounds recorded by Venera 14 on the surface. That's the sound of another world. A world where the atmosphere is so thick it's almost liquid, where metals glow red hot and the weather forecast is always the same. Acid rain, crushing pressure, and temperatures that would vaporize you in seconds. And here's the final twist in Venus's cosmic joke. It rotates backwards compared to every other planet, and so slowly that a day on Venus, 243 Earth days, is actually longer than its year. Even time works differently in hell. This isn't just planetary science, it's a cautionary tale written in rock and acid across an entire world. But here's the question that should keep us all awake at night. What if Earth had been just a little bit closer to the Sun? What if our early atmosphere had contained just a bit more carbon dioxide? Would we be looking at Venus right now? Or would we be Venus? Carl Sagan was one of the first to recognize Venus as Earth's warning from hell. He saw that runaway greenhouse effect and realized we were looking at our planet's possible future, not just our neighbor's tragic past. The terrifying truth is that Venus probably wasn't always hell. Billions of years ago, it might have had oceans, moderate temperatures, maybe even life. But once that greenhouse effect got started, there was no stopping it. The planet literally cooked itself to death. And that's what makes Venus so relevant today. We're conducting our own atmospheric experiment right here on Earth, pumping carbon dioxide into our atmosphere at unprecedented rates. Now we're nowhere near Venus levels, not even close. But Venus shows us what happens when a planet's climate system completely breaks down. The plot thickens even more. Just a few years ago, scientists detected phosphine gas in Venus's upper atmosphere, a chemical that, on Earth, is only produced by living organisms. Could there actually be life floating in Venus's acid clouds, 30 miles above that hellish surface? Think about it. Maybe Venus teaches us that life finds a way, even in hell. While the surface is uninhabitable, those upper atmospheric layers have temperatures and pressures similar to Earth. What if Venus isn't just a dead world, but a world where life retreated to the skies when the surface became uninhabitable? Venus isn't just our planetary neighbor, it's our cosmic mirror, showing us both our worst fears and our most incredible possibilities. A world that died, but might still harbor life in the most unexpected places. Gap 3S. The story of Venus is far from over. Right now, 3 major missions are gearing up to return to hell and finally answer the questions that have been haunting us for decades. NASA's Da Vinci Plus mission will plunge through Venus's atmosphere in 2031, taking the most detailed measurements ever of those acid clouds and analyzing their chemistry for signs of life. It's basically a flying laboratory designed to survive the journey to hell and back. Meanwhile, Veritas will map Venus's surface using advanced radar, searching for active volcanism. We think Venus might still be geologically alive, with massive volcanic eruptions reshaping the surface even today. Imagine mountains of molten rock erupting in 900-degree heat. The European Space Agency's Envision mission will join the party, creating the most detailed portrait of Venus we've ever had. Together, these missions will revolutionize our understanding of how planets die, and maybe how they could live again. Because here's the wildest part. Some scientists are seriously proposing floating cities in Venus's upper atmosphere. 50 miles up, the conditions are almost Earth-like. Breathable air would actually float in Venus's dense atmosphere like a balloon. Could we eventually terraform Venus? Remove that crushing atmosphere, cool down the surface, maybe even give it oceans again? It sounds impossible, but Venus has already shown us that planets can completely transform themselves. The goddess of love is about to reveal her deepest secrets. And honestly, I can't wait to see what hell has been hiding all along. Venus teaches us that the universe doesn't care about our expectations. We wanted a tropical paradise and found a hellscape that melts metal and rains acid. But here's what's incredible about humanity. Even when faced with a world that actively wants to destroy us, we don't back down. We build better robots. We ask harder questions. We dream bigger dreams. Venus may be hell, but it's also proof that human curiosity is more powerful than any planetary nightmare. So the next time you see that beautiful evening star hanging in our sky, remember, you're not just looking at our neighbor. You're looking at our warning, our challenge, and maybe our future. What do you think Venus's biggest secret is? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're ready to explore more cosmic mysteries that will blow your mind, make sure to subscribe to Planetary Possibilities. The universe is full of surprises and we're just getting started.